Why did you feel moved to go on Mudabrooka and clear the air on certain things or certain accusations?
Because I was on tour. Luckily, I was in Florida.
So you could hear. Yeah.
Right? No, I didn't hear. My son, who is in Jamaica, my eldest son, he heard she was on the... No. This was different. I was at home in California. Let me backtrack. I was home in California. And I was like on the computer. I said, let me go check out YouTube to see what's on YouTube. You know what I mean? In the entertainment business, you have to be in the know. You have to know what's going on. Yeah. So I started scrolling through YouTube, say what's going on in Jamaica, whatever. And then I saw this thing, interview with Marlene Brown and Mudabrooka. So I said, wait a minute, this might be interesting. So I clicked it on, and I started listening. So I figured, she's going to talk the truth, you know. But then my name came up. I'm like, wait a minute, how did I get into this? She started saying, the part that got me is when she said, after the incident, she asked me, she's telling the world, that she asked me to help. And I tell her, I say, the words in Jamaica, me not help nobody. Yeah. That's what she said. Me said to her, you know. Right? But this is only because out of all of the people except for Peter and Free Eye, I was one of the more visible ones out in the world. So in my mind, I just figured this girl want to get me on a bad side of the world, me being a public figure then. You know what I mean? You know? And I'm wondering, why would she do that? Because she's saying to the world that she asked me to help take Peter to the hospital, and I tell her I am not helping anybody, which was totally false. Because the first and last conversation I had with that woman was after the incident happened. After the shooting, I got shot, everybody got shot. One man died on the spot, two still struggling for them life. When I got up, right, I got scared, so I run to like a back room. It was just kind of like pandemonium kind of vibe, you know, like a survival mode. And I get up and I kind of say, you know what, let me get out of this room for a minute. And I run to their bedroom, right? And I hid in a bathroom, kind of like crazy, because you're trapped. You know what I mean? But it was just a thinking at the time. And then I kind of felt like, wait a minute. I thought I lost my arm, you know? Because at that point, I wasn't feeling anything here. Everything, this whole side was like numb. So I'm like, so I said, my arm is still there, but why the hell am I not feeling anything? By this time, I realized that I have a bullet in me, and I have what they call I'm drowning in my own blood. See what I'm saying? I have internal bleeding. And then my breathing start getting labored like me start breathe like extraordinary, you know what I mean? Not normal breathing that I was breathing before. So I come outside and she said, you all right? I said, no, I'm gonna get shot. She said, okay, all right. I'm going to go up the street and call some people. Say, look, well, I don't know if I'm going to make it, you know. I've got a hospital right now, you know. She said, all right, you know what I mean? That was it, you know. Because it was crazy, you know, it was a crazy moment, you know. Me have one side of my body like paralyzed for that moment. So there's nothing I could have barely dragged myself to my Jeep. I drive an American Jeep, left-hand drive, stick shift. Right? Now remember, you know, this one side of my body, you know, not functioning in the boss. Right? So me couldn't even lift, it's like nothing, it's like my fingers are paralyzed. Coming to know this, it now function. I'm a breathing start labor, right? Anyway, cut a long story short, I drive myself to the hospital, which was totally impossible and ridiculous to the people in the hospital, to all the nurses, the doctors, surgeons. I'm like, the next day they were like, we heard one of the patients drove themselves here, you know. I said, that was me. He said, no, you couldn't. He said, the condition you were in, Mr. Davis, you couldn't do that. I said, yes, it was me. My Jeep is parked at the back. Some guy, I kind of rolled out of the damn Jeep right at the hospital. He said, you couldn't, he said, the condition you came here in, you couldn't have done that. I said, really? I said, then how come my Jeep is parked back there? I drove myself here. Nah. Right? So now, when I heard she telling Muta Baruka, right, on the YouTube thing, that she asked me for help, right, I said, look, my whole thing was to let the world know. Ask any surgeon about internal bleeding, and they will tell you what that is. If you don't get immediate attention,
dead,
you're gone. And then, good thing I got to the hospital when I did, because I start feeling thirsty. I start feeling real hot and thirsty. And I start asking them for water. And they were like, they didn't even look at me. It's the next day I realized why they never give me no water. Them said, look, Mr. Davis, if we had given you any water to drink, that would enhance you drowning on your own blood. I'm like, whoa. They gave me a little, the little tasting thing with two little sip. That's what them give me the next morning. So anyway, when I saw that interview, I was like, no, I have to do something because this is social media. The world going to see this, and if I don't do anything about it, I say something, people going to feel like, really? Santa Davis really did that? They're going to feel like maybe I just got a scratch and could help and didn't. So I just called Muta. I said, Muta, I want to have an audience, because if she can tell you those things, then I want to hear my side, because there's always two sides. But then two sides, but there's the right side. So let's deal with the real. So that's why I call him and had that conversation with him.
What was the whole aftermath, not with recent, back then, what was the whole aftermath in regards to the word on the street, your transition now, your career, like, because Peter Tosh got killed, obviously you're in the band, right? Mm-hmm. But the people that killed him were on the street at the time. So what was the word on the street amongst the people? Were people talking?
So I heard. I heard they were on the street. I heard they got killed. I heard, the only one guy I know about, he's in prison, supposedly. He's in prison right now, which was the ringleader. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I hear a lot of stories that people get killed and people disappear, whatever. It's kind of hard because Jamaica is a weird place, Once one man says something, everybody run with it, and everybody just start, it just gets out of hand, you know what I mean? So I never even pay that no mind, because at one point, there was all kind of security around me, soldiers, not soldiers, but police. They was securing me in the hospital because them don't know if it was a larger scale thing, hit or whatever. So I was like, really? What did I do to warrant that kind of thing? Anybody who know me know that Santa Davis don't get mixed up into crap. Me try to be cool with everyone.
How long was the recovery till you could start playing comfortably?
You know what?
What was that whole experience like? Because you weren't able to work. So what was the whole...
No, you know something? It was a couple of weeks, And I went and did a show with I used to work at Aineka Musi on and off back then, you know what I mean? And I went and did a show with him. I still had bandage on me. Because I had this bullet in me, and it was something in my head said, look, you have to go play to see what kind of reaction your body is going to give you. And I went and I played, and after I was done, people was looking at me like, yo, one crazy. You know what I mean? Because they were like, you played harder than I've ever seen you play before. And I was intentionally doing that to see how my body was going to react, because the word was out that, boy, Santa can't play drum again, Santa cripple up on this, that, whatever, you know what I mean? So I said, well, let me dispel all that idea. So I went and I played like harder, because I'm still walking with a bullet in me right now. You see what I'm saying? But, boss, it was a hellish experience, and even to this day, it's not something where you can just, put it to the side. You can do that, but it's still there, It's just that it's not, I don't let it affect me, people have the post-traumatic stress disorder and them kind of thing. I deal with it, It's something that I question every time. Why? Why would something like this happen to such a person who was actually advocating for the voiceless, people who couldn't really express themselves. Here it is, you have one man who willing to step up. Look on the marijuana thing today. He's one of the first man him get beaten within an inch of his life to defend the use of what them call marijuana today.